Welcome to the Living a Nordic Life podcast, where we explore a simpler, cosier and more intentional life the Nordic way. I'm Fiona McKenna, your Nordic living guide and founder of Living a Nordic Life, where I share all things Nordic living and show you that a Nordic life is the way to bring intentional calm and healthy habits into your own life, wherever you are in the world. Are you looking for ways to bring simplicity, coziness and calm into your life? Well, let me show you how. Visit the Living a Nordic Life website to explore how I can help you on your journey to simple, healthy and happy calm, the Nordic way. You can subscribe to the podcast right here. And if you want regular inspirational emails sent with love from Norway and straight to your inbox, don't forget to subscribe to the Living a Nordic Life newsletters. And so now let's dive into our episode. Welcome to summer in the Nordics. And summer here in Norway is probably one of my favourite times of year. I love it. Everything's so green. There are flowers everywhere. There are long, long days. And June especially is so predictable. Weather-wise, we don't get very much rain. The days are warm but not too hot, and it's just beautiful. And of course, it's the season of Midsummer, the longest day. Midsummer in the Nordics is a big event. It's a big deal everywhere, not just in Norway, but in Sweden and Denmark, and actually across to the Baltic countries as well. It's the heart of the summer months, when the days are at their longest and the nights are really, really short. In fact, not really night at all. You can't really call it night. For us here in the south of Norway, it gets dark about 11:30 and then it's light again by 2 a.m. So there's very little darkness. And yes, you do sleep through it. You get used to it. And you find yourself doing an awful lot later in the evening. So you get a lot done in the summer. We revel in the warm days, with plenty of sunshine, surrounded by flowers, and with the forests bursting with greenery. It's magical. But it also has ancient and pagan links that take us back thousands of years to the times of our ancestors, when the seasons, and especially the high season of summer, was so important and so special for them. Midsummer is a celebration that takes place not only in the Nordic countries, but also in the Baltic states of Lithuania, Latvia and Estonia. In fact, if anything, I think it's even more important there. It centres around the harvest and fertility, although we're not harvesting yet, but obviously, wanting the plants and the produce and everything to grow. It's a time of year when the Vikings would have prayed for fertile lands and a good harvest to come. Plants gained healing powers, and the evil spirits would gather on the longest day. Nowadays, of course, it's a time of happy and carefree celebration that includes everyone from the youngest to the oldest. Everyone in the Nordics has a personal tradition to Midsummer, but they all centre around an evening celebration, a party perhaps, and a fire of some sort. For many of us, this might mean a fire on the beach. We're lucky we have an awful lot of coastline and we can't set fire to things in the garden or in the forest or out in nature because at this time of year, everything's very dry. And as you know, there's an awful lot of forest and woodland that things can catch fire and carry on burning for weeks. So we don't do that. But the beach is different because you've got sand and you're next to the sea. It's easy to put it out. And there's something lovely, isn't there, about a bonfire on the beach with the sea in the background. But if we're at home, it might be a barbecue or a grill. Still a fire, isn't it? But the most important part of it is celebrating with family and friends. It's very much a festival that includes everybody, from the youngest to the oldest. In my family, the Midsummer party is always hosted by my sister-in-law, Lisa. She and her husband put on a wonderful informal family party of upwards of about 25 of us. We pile into her beautiful garden. She's a gardener as well. She and I share that love of gardening. And share some wonderful summer food. Things that are all in season. We grill a few pulsa or some chicken legs and some other treats. And we enjoy the longest day of the year. It's really special. And it's made all the more by it only happening once a year. Of course, we could have a party like this any time. But it wouldn't be the same, would it? There's something very significant about having it on a particular day and knowing that the whole of Scandinavia, or maybe people across the world as well, because I don't know where you are, but maybe now you're thinking about hosting a party for Midsummer. So I'll be celebrating with you from Norway. But maybe because people are celebrating for Scandinavia and beyond, that it holds power in a really strange way, in a very special way. But here's the thing. You don't need to live in the Nordics to host your own midsummer party. You can host a midsummer party like we do here, a Nordic midsummer party. So I'm going to share a few ideas with you to get you started. But don't think that they're set in stone, because you can make it your own. Do whatever you want. It's your party. Make it how you like. For a start, you don't have to have the celebration on Midsummer itself. Midsummer, the very longest day, is the 21st of June. But we do also have another special day, which is the 23rd of June, which is, well, it's actually the 24th of June. The 23rd of June is the celebration that we had, but the 24th of June is the festival of St. John, St. Hans, and that's a Christian festival. And in Norway, Midsummer and the festival of St. John, St. Hans, are combined on the 23rd of June. St. Hans aften. That's St. Hans Eve, St. John's Eve, the day before. We simply call it St. Hans aften, the evening before St. Hans. But the two festivals, one pagan, Midsummer, and one Christian, Feast of St. John, have become one and the same. And we sometimes call it Midsummer as well. Doesn't make any difference. We're still celebrating it, aren't we? So everybody can celebrate it. It doesn't matter whether you're Christian or pagan or Muslim or Buddhist or whatever. Everybody can come together and celebrate it. In Sweden, the celebration takes place on the weekend closest to Midsummer. So it's not very often on the 21st of June itself. It's all about making the celebration your own and having it on a day that suits you. But make it a day that you can relax and enjoy it on. Be flexible. Take it outside. Midsummer parties in the Nordics are always held outside. We'd have to have something like a tornado, or which doesn't happen here, or some kind of flood or some catastrophe for it not to be outside. It's a time to enjoy the summer weather. Make the most of nature because it's absolutely at its peak, and relax in the fresh air. But, like so many things in Scandinavia, the weather is no barrier to enjoying yourself. So even if it rains a little bit, we'd just put something on, put up an umbrella, go into the gazebo. We'd still enjoy it. A little bit of rain puts no one off. And it shouldn't put you off either. Remember that. There's no such thing as bad weather, only the wrong clothes. Be informal. The Nordic countries are not ones for formality of any kind, really. Everything here is very informal, very friendly. You know, kids don't call their teachers Mr. or Mrs. They call them by their first name. Same with our doctors and anybody who you might normally call, you know, by their surname and something a little bit formal. We don't do that here. But this is especially true when celebrating, so don't stand on ceremony. Let everyone be relaxed. Let them wear what they want to wear. Put on some shorts. Serve food on paper plates. Yeah, you are allowed to do that. You could just, you know, don't do it every meal because it's not the most sustainable thing, is it? But if you're outside and it makes things a little bit easier, do that. And put the formality away for another day. You can light a fire, like we do on the beach. No midsummer party is complete without a fire of some kind. Doesn't have to be an enormous bonfire. I like the one they have in Ålesund that is the world's biggest bonfire, and it takes them about 3 weeks to build it. And it's built by about 16 kids, something like that. Maybe it's more. I'd have to Google that one. But yeah, it's a lot of them. And they're young people as well, up to, I think, between the ages of 16 and 23. And they climb up and build the bonfire, imagine, at the top. It's tall. But you need to have some sort of fire, because we need to keep those evil spirits away. If you can light a bonfire safely, then great. But if not, light the barbecue or the grill and cook some food on it. It's still a fire. Make it a Scandinavian buffet, a Scandi buffet. We kind of think of this as the sort of standard uniform buffet that we might have here in Norway. It's something that we bring out for Christmas and parties, or anything really where we want people to graze a little bit and enjoy some things. But think salads and fresh food. We like to have lots of cured meats, lots of salami, things like speck, prosciutto or Parma ham, some air-dried ham perhaps, lots of things like that. Stirred egg, which is rather like room temperature scrambled egg. Doesn't sound very savoury, does it? But it is. It's lovely. And then it has chives stirred into it as well. Fresh salads and an abundance of anything that's in season. I usually have a wander around my greenhouse or around the garden and look at what is growing and put out whatever I've got that I can literally pick and just carry into the kitchen. But that's me. I've got a big kitchen garden, so I can do that. But you can go around the supermarket and have a look, or go to a market if you're lucky enough to have one, and see what's in season and buy that. Be flexible. You don't have to plan the menu and stick to it. You can change things. Here, strawberries are a must. They've just started to fruit, and everybody loves to have some of the first strawberries. So they have to come out with a little bit of cream, keeping it simple. And of course you can't celebrate without the infamous Norwegian kakebord, cake table. It's our cake buffet that we always have. And it can range from something like a bløtkake, which is a sort of soft cream cake with fruit in it, to successterte, which is an almond-based cake with a kind of creamy topping. Gosh, I love it. I love it. Chocolate cake, kladdkake, sort of heavy Swedish chocolate cake that's a little bit like a brownie actually. But if you go onto the Living a Nordic Life website, you will find lots of recipes for traditional Nordic cakes that would be perfect on your cake buffet. Now for us, there's usually about 25 of us, and we don't normally have anything less than about 5 cakes. But it's traditional here for people to bring something with them to a party. So you might find that your guests will bring a cake each or something. So you can find that you have an awful lot more than you were expecting. But that variety is lovely, and it's a time to indulge. Don't count calories. Just, enjoy it. And talking of cakes, if you think you have enough, add another one for good measure. That's my maxim. I would rather there was a little bit left over. You can forget about the calories and enjoy yourself. Indulge a little bit. You can worry about the calories tomorrow. If you find that you have cakes left over at the end of the party, then why not let your guests take a piece each? Or a chunk, or a bit of everything. That's what we do. Everybody takes something home. They're not allowed to leave unless they're taking some cake with them. And then they get to enjoy it the next day. And you don't have all of those leftovers that you're looking at thinking, what do I do with it? It won't fit in the freezer. Or it won't freeze, which is worse, isn't it? Or you have to eat it. Make a flower crown. This, to me, being English, is such a Nordic thing to do. Even kids at school and kindergarten make crowns from birch twigs and flowers. It's beautiful in a really simple, natural way. Birch twigs, complete with the leaves. You know what birch twigs are like. They're flexible, and they're very kind of long and thin. But they're wrapped around in a circle, and the flowers are pushed in. and it turns it into a sort of crown, like a headband. In Norway, these flowers are blues, whites and yellows at this time of year. Things like buttercups, the white of cow parsley and all that kind of fluffy white stuff. And the blues of cornflowers, which grow wild here. And perhaps the occasional Jonsokblom, which is St. Hans flower, and it's the flower that's most associated with this time of year. It's in English, it's called red campion, and it's a tallish flower. It's about 1 metre tall, and it has little flowers on about 1 inch across that are dark pink, almost red. But that's something that you have to have in your flower crown. And if you don't want to make a flower crown, then pick a bunch of wild flowers and put them on your buffet table. So, now you're ready to celebrate like you're Nordic. Get outside, light that grill, make a buffet, be informal, have a few cakes and really enjoy yourself. Enjoy midsummer and make the most of this wonderful time of year. If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the Living a Nordic Life newsletters so you can get an email when I release a new episode. It's a quick and easy way to keep up with all things Nordic living. Please visit livinganordiclife.com. You can listen to Living a Nordic Life on lots of podcast apps, including Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcasts and plenty of others. If you've enjoyed the Living a Nordic Life podcast, why not leave me a rating? So that's the end of Living a Nordic Life for today, and I look forward to seeing you next time.